Good afternoon, Reclaimers, and welcome to today's episode of DAEMON X Daily. Whether you're a veteran, a rookie, or just happen to be passing by, this is your stop for all things DAEMON X Machina. I'm Phantom Z2. This transmission is being recorded on June 18th, 2025 for release on the same day. And today we'll be discussing the Reclaimers trailer for DAEMON X Machina TITANIC SCION. The last time we had an episode, or that's the last file that we had, we were covering the DAEMON X Machina TITANIC SCION footage that was at IGN's Summerfest. So that instance had a trailer and a story trailer that showed off a whole bunch of new characters, primarily on the villain side. But this time around, we're going to be taking this trailer is going to be focused on the main characters, as in the main faction that we're part of, assumedly. In addition to the fact that we're going to be covering the new website updates that now has shown the characters, including both their art and some dialogue from them. So let's get right into this reaction. This is actually my first time watching this trailer. So although it's in Japanese, I'm still gonna be reacting to it because Marvelous is just gonna take too long putting out the English trailer. And also I think it'll probably be mostly visual in addition to the audio, like the character voice lines, where I might get an idea of what they're discussing anyways. So let's get right into it. Okay, so the wolves on the earth is the resistance, the reclaimers. Or let's just call them the resist. Oh no, they're all okay. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, as we can see, we're on their side. So we got Forge, who's probably one of the, like a mechanic or something. Toby. Okay, he's in a heavy armor. Interesting. Angel. What's the light great armor? Ash. Oh, so that's the guy that we saw in those trailers. Okay, in the starting trailer. Zonky. Got a samurai. Iris, that's the girl that's on the cover art, is it not? And we've seen her in a few screenshots as well. Raven. Raven is the guy that's at the end of the announcement trailer. That talks about children yearn for hope, or children bring hope to their lives. And that's all of their character art as well. Given the fact that he's shown right there, hold on, let's go right back. Given the fact that he's shown right here, can easily be said that he is the leader of the Reclaimers. And that's really it. There's not really much to go off of in that footage. We do have other Reclaimers, or at least other people that are within this this bunker area that are not focused on, which means that there is a large group of Reclaimers that are also sided up with them. We can see them visually watching the enemies right now, so there's that as well. Something that's interesting, I think, design-wise, is the fact that the armor pattern that's usually on the back of the arsenals is also on the main character's back, which means that they probably are not human. That would be my assumption. They're either well, all outers aren't necessarily human. They were human and then made and they got mutated into outers, or they were made, kind of like how the main character in DAEMON X Machina 1 was. In the same case of DAEMON X Machina TITANIC SCION, based upon what was said in that story trailer, the main character is also an outer that was created by humans. Yeah, Forge, yeah, once again. So I think we've definitely seen this armor before, so it's like a heavy, more like the heavy type of armor. We have, so Toby is piloting this heavy grade arsenal. I wonder if he's actually within it, or if he's just able to control it. Because the idea of Toby, the way he looks, it's kind of hard to believe that he would actually be inside of an arsenal, piloting one. He seems more like a character that would be like in the background, kind of guiding you, or like giving you call outs, kind of like DJ and Beyblade, or not DJ. What's his name? The dude with the glasses. Because DJ was the announcer. I forgot the guy's name. The kid with the big glasses in the original Beyblade series. I forgot his name. With Tyson and the Beybreakers, or what the fuck they were called. But he seems kind of like that guy, like that mechanic that wouldn't necessarily be in the out on the battlefield. We have Angel once again. There's a lot of decals on their outfits, so I wonder if you're able to just like also put decals on your regular clothing as well. Yeah, Ash. Yeah. Alright. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Congrats to that, Jojo. Oh yeah, so something that was revealed in that IGN Fest was that, yeah, you can ride on horses, these like weird altered organic monsters that have like those spikes that we were looking at in a previous episode of Daemon X Daily. These like, there are certain formations of spikes in the environment, and these horses have that as well. I'm not sure what that means for the ecosystem, or what does it mean specifically for these horses. Maybe they're hostile against you and then you have to tame them. Maybe that's what that's about. Also, there's that heavy great arsenal behind him, but this is a different arsenal. Whereas Toby's looks like this, with kind of like a helmet with spikes coming out of it. But this one back here, where there's the shot of the head. Yeah, go back for a few seconds. This one right here is kind of like the one that you would usually play with. I believe in Daemon X, the original Daemon X Machina. I'm not sure if this is the Orsa model. It kind of looks similar to it, but I'm pretty sure this is also the one that we've seen in other instances of footage. So this might be the players. What was that? That's a Laos on there? LOU. Oh, that's just okay. Only Toby has that. Oh, so there's also different types of robots as well. They have mechanized robots. These two fighting against each other makes absolute sense. We'll get into the non-reclaimers, the Axiom team in the next episode, because the next trailer for them would be releasing tomorrow. So I'm not gonna cover them today. I'm just gonna keep it all within the same episode. I'm gonna keep them separated in terms of episodes, as to not have, you know, the focus of the Axiom fall into the Reclaimers when we only have footage of the Reclaimers at the moment. I wonder if you get a horse, are you able to deck it out and make it mechanized as well? All right, let's move on to the characters now. So we have, first off, our main character Nova, who is voiced by either Kylan DePorter or Christina V, who is Shantae. Let's hear some of those voice lines. Actually, before that, we got their awesome title is Bahamut, and they have a profile, the traitor who fell from the heavens. So given the fact that it's called they're a traitor, a soldier who fled from the garden, a spaceship floating above the planet where outers with superhuman abilities established a military regime known as the Sovereign Axiom. Okay, so we were originally part of the Sovereign Axiom, which is why so many of our clothes have that symbol. The Reclaimers, a rebel force who resist the Axiom's rule, recognize your strength and hire you as a mercenary, which means that now in the story summary of Titanic Scion, I believe it is stated that not just that, it's, several years after the main game, several hundred years after the original game, but you crash land onto Earth, or the blue planet, not Earth, which means that they probably don't recall who they are. They would probably lose their memories when they're in the midst of that crash landing, which is why they end up becoming siding with the Reclaimers rather than, continuing to be on the side of the Sovereign Axiom. It could also be the case that now crash landing on the planet, they see how they're treating the people on this planet, and then have a change of heart. Let's say, Iris, I worry that our new friend Smile might have gotten left behind in the garden. I'm sure there's a reason for that stoic, stern demeanor, but loosening up a bit couldn't hurt. I'll admit that the new Merc is strong, but I don't trust Outers, period. If I catch a single sign that jackass will stab us in the back, I'm getting in my arsenal. I don't trust Outers. Are you not also an otter? I guess we'll get to this character next. Let's check out who this character is later. Out of all these meatballs, that one's got some real potential. Of course, none of them can really shine without little old Toby's help. Alright, I gotta go wake up Forge. Okay, so Toby and Forge are like a duo. Probably Toby's like the mechanic helper to Forge. The main character's name and appearance can be customized. Change your body type, hairstyle, makeup, and clothes to design your own avatar, of course. I wonder if this is more in-depth. Doesn't seem like it at all, actually. Doesn't seem like it's more in-depth than the original game. Really liking the way that the character design shines in the 3D models. Let's see, we got a lot of new stuff. We have what was this Gargantua's head visor here. Let's see. I think that's one of the Crown Princesses or the Panzer Crown team that has that haircut. Not Panzer Crown. I think that's part of damn, I can't remember their name at the moment. It's blanking on me. But the purple-haired girl in the original game, I think that this is her hair, but it looks a little different. It might be shorter than what that was. Right? That's it for the player character. Now we have the key art here, which one thing that I will state, because I don't think many people know this. So you can right-click on the art to get the full art and then separate it from everything else, right? Here is the art that you can then save onto your computer, and it is at a quality of 1189 by 1272. Now, as you can see, not only is the name attached to the art, which means that you can't separate it, but also it's kind of zoomed out a bit due to the more assets being included within the art. If you go to the Japanese website, right? Let's go to the character section. And if we look at the exact same art, so let's zoom in and then do that. Immediately notice how the name isn't attached to it, and the file size is higher. The resolution is higher. So we have 1390 by 2042. So if you're ever going to save assets from the Titanic Scion website, also just from Japanese websites in general, if you're looking at video games, it's always best to look at the Japanese website because the higher quality assets will usually be there. So we have like the higher quality art that we can really see in better detail of the character's design and all that stuff. Also, UEC, United Earth Coalition. I wonder if that is from. I guess I'll comment on that in a second. But you know how we see like the Axiom Verge, Axiom Surge. What's it called? What are they called again? Axiom Surge. Sovereign Axiom. The Sovereign Axiom logo is on their outfit, but they have the UEC logo here. So if we go to the Reclaimers, I wonder if do they have any UEC mentioned on their clothing? Well, I probably just go look at the Japanese website since I just stated that the better art is there. Let's take a look real quick. Let's see, does Toby or anybody else have UEC? It doesn't seem so. So I'm gonna make the assumption that the UEC is also connected to the Sovereign Axiom. In that original trailer, it was stated that, not stated, but it was also shown that the logo of the Sovereign Axiom had UEC on it as well. So it's probably the case that, oh, whoops, wrong section, that the UEC and the Sovereign Axiom are both part of the same like team in a sense. Let's go into the Reclaimers. First, we're gonna start with Raven, voiced by Brooke Chalmers in Japanese, and voiced by Satoshi Mikami. Oh wait, that's right. We forgot to look at hear the voice lines. Let's hear it.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying. We need to kill them while we still have the chance.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying. We need to kill them while we still have the chance.
Something that just occurred to me. I actually don't recall if you have different voice options in the original game. But given the fact that you have a voice actor, like a stated voice actor, that means that this character is probably going to be doing a lot of talking, or at least just way more than the grunts that the main character in Daemon X Machina made, which I like to see. I would prefer to see an involved main character within the world of Daemon X Machina, especially when we had the novel that gives the main character a voice, or at least is in the perspective of the main character. So there are certain points where it at least seems like they are also taking part in conversations and of the such. Now let's move on to the Reclaimers. So we have Raven, the Ancient One. Raven is the head of the Old Fort branch of the Reclaimers. He is known not only as a courageous and wise leader, but as a master arsenal pilot as well. His foresight and strategy have allowed him to overcome many crises in the past, but he has now been captured and imprisoned for saving his comrades, leaving Angel to serve as acting commander. Oh, okay. See, now, because of his voice line at the end of the trailer, at the end of the announcement trailer, which should be one of these.
The Outers aren't our enemy. The Axiom is. All children bring hope to our lives, don't they?
That line, this line right here, I was under the impression that he would be dying in the game, and I still think that will happen. I feel like that is such a strong line, and the emotional weight that he has while saying it sounds like somebody, you know, who would be in that prison situation, basically arguing for why he did what he did. And it just seems like the team's goal to fight against the Axiom, after stating that, you know, the Outers aren't necessarily the problem, and also being very skeptical of Nova in general, is because it's going to be the case that the Outers, who are the sovereign Axiom, who are Outers, are probably going to kill this guy at some point. We all look to Raven for his leadership. It's thanks to him that countless lives were saved, including mine. His dedication to saving lives is noble for sure, but you can't save everyone. I just wish you to understand that it's okay to show vulnerability, to help out everyone at ease. Wouldn't be here if it weren't for Raven. He's a real leader, a guy who puts himself on the front lines. He gets that you gotta risk your life for the things you hold dear. Nothing matters more than that. Am I right or am I right? Raven's kind of like a father figure. He's always so hard on himself, but so gentle on everyone else. I wish he let us shoulder some of the burdens instead of trying to carry them all by himself. Funny, I guess he and I have that in common. Okay, very interesting. So Iris, who is the other character that was on the key art, who's on the box art of the game, which I'm very interested to see what it is that she has to say about herself, or what they have to say about herself. So we have voiced by Danny Chambers for the Phantom Light, a warrior sent to the Old Front branch as reinforcements. Even as the conflict between Outers and humans continues, her kindness and equal treatment of others, regardless of who they are, is enough to put anyone with her at ease. Having been rescued by Raven in the past, she gladly joins the Reclaimers.
My leader taught me to never abandon my allies in a fight. Oh, stop trying to leave me out of everything. Come on, you know how strong I am.
Okay. We need all the help we can get, but having to depend on some Outer, one sent over from another branch while we're here trying to liberate ourselves from Outers, it's kind of awkward, isn't it? Iris, huh? She's a sweet young lady with a great personality, the kind of person you can't help but like. What else can I say? When my boy's old enough, I hope we'll find someone like that to settle down with. Can't believe we're using Outers to help us defeat other Outers, but she's got Raven's trust, so I've got to put up with her. Like it or not, if I had to say something nice about her, she's really pretty. Okay, so she's an Outer as well, and the main character's an Outer. It seems like everybody else isn't an Outer, so are they not? But they're also using arsenals, or at least Zonky and Toby are. No, no. Raven also is using one as well. So are they all just people that have the ability to use the arsenals but aren't Outers? Interesting. Angel, voiced by Kat Pratano. She has a very like modern look to her, not even in the sense of like, like in the sense of the world of Daemon X Machina. I mean, in terms of like, she's wearing something that I feel like I've seen people wear just like in real life, like on like just like down the street or at the gym or some shit. Whereas everybody else kind of has like very much more sci-fi outfits. Like her, like granted, she's kind of just wearing like what's it called? Like a Chinese style dress, but with like a tech wear jacket. But everybody else kind of has something that seems, due to the color and the amount of texture and layers, everybody else is wearing something that is far more fantastical in except for Toby. Toby has like a hoodie and a backpack. But Angel has like just really modern, normal clothing in a sense. Not that it's a bad design though. I still think the design looks good. Let's see. So yeah, she also has an arsenal. So Arsenal's Camellia. Angel is the acting commander of the Reclaimers' Old Front Branch. A courageous warrior in her own right, she cut off her long hair just before throwing herself into the Reclaimers' cause. Her orders are always made reflecting the situation at hand, coordinated between the logistics of tracking supplies, procuring operation funds, and managing the rambunctious group around her, all while enduring seemingly infinite stress.
Fine. You've proven your worth, so we'll buy your skills. You work for us, from now until you're fired or dead. Wouldn't it be nice if the world just ended?
No.
I want to go somewhere far, far away.
That's interesting, because that's kind of what we ended up doing at the end of Daemon X Machina. So I wonder if it's going to be the case that the end game decision would also lead to either leaving the world again, leaving the planet again, or if it ends up becoming a world that she actually would rather live in, continue to live in. Let's see, I've put her through a world of trouble, and I owe her my life for everything she's done for me. The day when Outers and humans finally join hands to build a new world, a new era, can't come soon enough. Okay, so that's Raven's goal. I've got mad respect for Angel. She's basically an older sister to everyone around here. You can count on her for anything. Just take it from me, don't get on her bad side. She's scary when she's angry. She puts on a brave face for all of us, but as she supports us, so too must we support her in turn. Her hands are full managing these grown adults who act like children. A crime I am not innocent of myself. Okay, that's interesting to see that even an old man like Zonky still has like a young at heart spirit. Ash. Paul Castro Jr. That's I believe that's Fret. I know either that's Fret or that's Rindo from Neo the World Is a Few. Hold on.
Goddamn freak. He's an outer. I don't care how strong he is. I don't trust him.
Yeah, that's Rindo. That's Rindo. That's awesome. Okay. Arsenal Lightning. The promising ace of the Reclaimers. Ash lost his parents and his right arm when one of the Gardens fell from the sky. He now uses a prosthetic hand and is always equipped with an electromagnetic gun in his right, wearing a specially made arsenal that allows him to use it freely. He has a strong hatred for all Outers and now gives his all for the Reclaimers to avenge his parents and protect his only surviving family, his little sister. Interesting.
My arm? Lost in the Great Collide in exchange for my little sister's life. A small price to pay, right?
He's the ace of the Reclaimers and a total hothead. There's a lot of things I rely on him for, but thinking before he acts isn't one of them. Seriously, does he ever stop to think about who does all the work around here? The arsenal maintenance, cooking everyone's meals. Ugh, he drives me crazy. Deep breaths, Angel. Deep breaths. He's just like me when I was in my prime. What's that look for? You don't see the resemblance? I'll have you know I used to be quite the ladies' man back in the day. Huh? Get back on topic. What do I think of Ash? Oh yeah, kid's a hero, plain and simple. Ash is always getting himself hurt, so he's constantly getting patched up all the time. He'll say stuff like, stop thinking about whether or not we can win and just move. I'll go alone if I have to. I think he's got to put a little more trust in everyone else. Okay. I feel like, I think there's going to be some people that disagree with me on this. One of my favorite characters in Daemon X Machina is Johnny G. Granted, the source book and the novel gives some more insight into the type of person that Johnny G is that's not really highlighted in the game itself, but I still think that he's a very fun character to have as essentially your right hand. I have the feeling that despite his hatred of Outers, we're going to end up either go from like a strong hatred to rivalry to becoming friends with him. That's what I hope for, at least, because he seems like the type of dude that has like a revenge story where it can be mended over the time of the fact that now we're on his side. We're not looking to fight against him. So Zanki is next. Dave Fenoy, Arsenal Juyondai. Although not an official member of the Reclaimers, Zanki leads his blade to their cause due to the overlap between his martial arts and Raven's aspirations of paving a path for the next generation. A master swordsman, he has created his own unique style based on the Fel Vitae Yin Yang Quintet. What the hell? He has lost his physical eyesight but is supported by his digital nerds. Zanki has 7 disciples, all of whom have now left their master to pursue their own paths. Seven disciples. How many of the Nguyen are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. It could be possible that some of these 9 are Zanki's 7 disciples. That's what I'm thinking. It's very interesting. Also, he lost his legs. Interesting. Zanki and I are old friends. Still, sometimes getting advice from him feels more like I'm learning from a master. It's a strange bond we've got, considering we were enemies once upon a time. Yeah, okay. I think he has to be an outer as well, I assume. I wonder. He's one of Old Fort's greatest strengths, and no one can deny that. You can find him deep in meditation pretty often. Sometimes, when he doesn't respond at all, I can't help but wonder if he's actually asleep, or maybe just pretending to be asleep. He's a regular human, but even outers know not to mess with him. Okay, so he's not an outer. That's how powerful he is. I keep asking him to give me some pointers on how to get stronger faster, but he just says the same thing every time. Training is the path to growth, a path that stretches on for eternity. He's damn right. Alright, let's hear those voice lines.
Patience guides us down the true path to power. You are strong, but do not let that strength burn yourself, nor your allies.
Okay. Next. Forge. Mick Lar. That name sounds familiar, like really familiar. What's this?
I won't do you any harm. You've got nowhere else to go, right?
I can't make out who that was, but I know that name. I think I know that name from like a YouTube sort of thing. I'm not completely sure. Arsenal Anvil. Profile. Forge is the proud owner of his own gym where he trains Coliseum fighters for bouts while supporting the Reclaimers on the side. A skilled mechanic, he's a reliable ally who's happy to lend a hand with developing and maintaining your arsenal. Forge does have his secrets and hints at having lived in the garden in his past. Oh, okay. So he might have also been part of the Sovereign Axiom, potentially. Or was working for them as a mechanic. Maybe he helped develop the new arsenals that we've been using. Let's see. Also, the proud owner of his own gym where he trains Coliseum fighters. I wonder if there's going to be like a Coliseum area in the game where you can like fight against each other for sport, kind of similar to how Nier Automata has the Coliseum that you can find. Forge is my pops. He's the one who built me, and I love him. But he won't stop saying stuff like, Toby, don't do this, and Toby, don't do that. But she gets kind of annoying. So I wonder if he'll let me go to school. Aw, that's sweet. He's a good man, but a dependable friend as well. Perhaps a bit prone to interfering in things, but even that is done in a charming way. Forge is a great guy, but don't get me wrong, but just between you and me, his gym literally never leaves the bottom rank. I don't know if he's got what it takes to be a trainer. Oof, okay. Given the gym wear that you have on, you seem completely in the right to say that. Did we listen to the second voice line?
But my dream is to raise a champion right here in this humble little gym.
Okay. Toby. Alright. Laura Stahl.
That's rich coming from you, meatball.
Toby does not wear an arsenal. His heavy armor is named Shockbox. Okay. So, yeah, so just to clarify, in Daemon X Machina, the original game, the mechs that we used were called arsenals. That has changed now to where, you know, these what I call light grade arsenals are now the arsenals. And then the arsenals that we used to use are just called heavy armor. I'm gonna adjust to now just calling it that rather than calling it the heavy grade arsenals. I would still personally choose to view them as the big arsenals that we've come to know and love over the one game that we've had with them. But they're trying to change the name of it. I get why, due to what was stated within the IGN talk, the interview with Kenichiro Sukada. I'm not personally a fan of that change of just the name change alone, but I'll adjust it just because to inform you guys of like what it is that I'm actually specifically referring to, rather than mixing too many terms together. So the shockbox heavy armor that we saw in that character trailer, I wonder if he is actually inside of it then. A robot boy created by Forge. Toby has the emotional maturity of a 10-year-old, but is a talented protege and in his various capabilities from arsenal maintenance to development assistance, and is even capable of fighting immortals. He looks up to the adults around him and can sometimes go overboard while trying to please them. Unfortunately, while they're good influences in most ways, said adults, especially his father Forge, have been a bad influence on his language, so he probably curses a lot. Couldn't be more proud of my little boy. Only thing is, he's in his rebellious phase, so he can be a bit of a handful. But it's a sign he's growing up, you know? What parent wouldn't be happy about that? Toby's a whiz kid with a heart of gold. He's a bit of a brat sometimes, but I just can't stay mad at him when he looks at me with those cute little eyes. I'm glad he gets to be himself. Toby's like a little brother to me, but man, does he have a potty mouth. Gotta wonder where he gets it from. I mean, no parent in their right mind would. Oh, Forge. Didn't see you there. I was just no headlocks. That's cute. All right, and that is it for the class of reclaimers that we've got in this game. No other details. There probably is some stuff in the gameplay section, but there is actually a lot of gameplay stuff that was covered within the demo that was playable. So the demo that was playable at IGN's Fest, and also like footage captured by people. So any of that, I think I would rather leave to a separate video. But here's just to show you that there are new other updates on the site that you can check out for yourself. With that being said, I'm gonna end off today's episode of DAEMON X Daily here, and I'll be seeing you guys likely Thursday. Or I'll record for Thursday to release on Friday for the Nuens, the Sovereign Axioms team of characters. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember, oh my gosh, I almost did the Source Gaming outro. Hold on. I haven't done this in a while, so I kind of forgot my own outro. Uh-oh. Let's see. What was it? If I could try to remember real quickly. I think it was thank you for tuning into this transmission, and you're on standby for the next one or something like that. I'll remember it next time for sure. Thank you for watching.